Good evening, race fans. Welcome to CRN's live coverage of the CSRL GT Series here at Watkins Glen International tonight for round number 10. So we got this final round of 45 minutes, and then we got the actual final round of the season, but that one is the 2-hour double points season finale. So kind of a lot on the line here for anybody that wants to get themselves back in the mix of this championship, but it's pretty out of reach for two of the divisions, and then the one division, their top division. We'll talk about that here in a little bit because it's definitely not done and dusted. Carlheim, we're joined in the booth by Jimmy Covert. Jimmy, we had a nice little week off there for Thanksgiving, but we're back at it here tonight, and we get to go to a track that I'm sure a lot of these drivers know a little bit more than Suzuka.
Yeah, it's a track I think most race fans are very familiar with, whether they're a GT3 race or not. You know, everything comes here to Watkins Glen. The old school cars, the GT cars, the LMP2 cars, the GTP cars. I think everything runs here, Carl. So pretty much everybody on the iRacing service has probably touched our Watkins Glen in some way, shape, or form. Tonight kind of being unique, though, for the road racers. Obviously, they get the boot, and it can be a very tricky place down out of the parabolic there, and then come down into that different left-right stretch up and down some different altitude changes. So it's going to be interesting. It's going to be fun to watch. Can't wait to see how they handle it. Obviously, you know, the top drivers that are in that battle are, Carl, real close between Noah Bourgeois and Craig Jancic.
Yeah, last time out for round number 9, again, we were at Suzuka, and we'll take you to the moment of the race for that one, and it involved one of our championship contenders, Chris Hamilton. Not mathematically out of it, but this was a big moment for him in the race. Last lap, they just got the white flag, him and Bryce Reiner on the inside, and not exactly an easy place to make a pass, going around the outside in turns 1 and 2 at Suzuka, heading into the S's. So a heck of a move there from Chris Hamilton to get himself 3rd place on the night and maybe keep him just within touch of the top spot in the Platinum. But take a look at the standings in the Silver Division. William Burrell with a 72-point lead. Pretty good sizable margin there over John Espada in the Silver, and would take a monumental effort for Espada to catch back up in that one. In the Gold Division, kind of the same. Kyle Kobler in there with a 60-point lead over Herbert Pineda. Still, you know, not out of realm of possibilities, but again, Pineda is going to need a fantastic race, and Kobler need a horrible one here tonight and next week for the season finale. And then in the Platinum is where we keep our eyes on that, because it is a 2-point lead for Noah Bourgeois over Craig Jancic and the top spot, 703 to 701, and then another 40 points back is Chris Hamilton. So it's still within the realm of possibilities for Hamilton to get back into this, but again, same thing, he's going to need a big night here tonight, and then another big night for the double point season finale. Unfortunately, Mason Smith missed a few races throughout the season, has fallen back to 10th in the points, but he's back in action here tonight, and looks like just about finishing up with qualifying. We'll see where all the drivers will lay out here tonight, but unfortunately, the moment of the race last week for Hamilton might have been his last big moment of the season, because looks like not able to get a lap time in here for this one. He's going to be starting buried back in the pack as we're just waiting for these final results to come up. But Jimmy, I mean, you got to love that no matter what happens here tonight, I think it's going to come down to the season finale once again.
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised that Chris decided to try to run the Porsche here tonight. Obviously, with the drivers being able to have a couple cars, and the Ford being pretty dominant throughout the season. But I see a lot of Aston Martins out there tonight. So maybe just maybe some people say like, oh well, we need to dust this thing off in case we need to use it next week and get some time in the car. I don't know, but a lot of Aston Martins out here tonight. The grid is finalized, Carl. Would you like me to run down the listing?
Absolutely. Give us a rundown of, looks like we got a 32 car field here tonight.
Yeah, 32 cars on the field here tonight, and Noah Bourgeois will take the pole here tonight, getting that top spot here to make the, get that a little bit closer there to that championship. Mason Smith back in action and back on that front row with Noah Bourgeois on the outside. Craig Jancic will sit there in third. Justin Flagg will be in fourth. David Wells in fifth. Jesse Mosley in sixth. Jason Phillips in seventh. Eighth is going to be Herbert Pineda. Ninth, Bryce Reiner. And then in 10th will be Stephen McLean. 11th place will be Kyle Kobler with the Cesar Colon Torres and P number 12. 13th is going to be Christian Ortiz Torres. Javi Sierra in 14th. Dave Tilford in 15th. Brandon Potts in 16th. Jason Potts in 17th. Todd Torville in 18th. Glenn Lozon in the 10th row and 19th with Elaine Ballou. And then 21st is going to be John Espada with Ian Wilson in 22nd. Zach Larson in 23rd. Paul Bailey in 24th. Jim Dutton all the way back in 25th. Christopher Hamilton in 26th. Simon Seguin back there in 27th. Tyler Terville in 28th. Frank Pisano in 29th. Ryan Luna in 30th, Frank, and then you have Bill Burrell and Michael Ray Galan back there for 32 cars. So it's going to be a lot of fun here getting around, and they're right now on their formation lap.
Yeah, it's definitely a surprise to see a few of those drivers down there at the bottom, and three of them being the Platinum drivers with Pisano, Torville, and Chris Hamilton all starting towards the back of the pack. But we are all gridded up there. They're taking their pace lap around here, and we'll take you down there and take a look as they're going to come up through the S's here, just the start of the race here. And, certainly a different paint scheme there on the Aston Martin there. A little, I guess, a little shout out, little signs there for Fernando Alonso. A big-headed Fernando Alonso on the hood of that thing. But good to see Mason Smith back out there in action, and both of them qualifying ahead of Craig Jancic here tonight. And really, I think that 1 and 3 we're gonna have to take a look at. Will Mason Smith get in the mix here and kind of cause a spoiler here for our top two in the points with Bourgeois and Jancic starting 1 and 3 here tonight. They're gonna be starting right behind each other. So a lot of times we see Jancic maybe not grab the pole, but he's right there in second and with a chance to get the lead by turn 1. But here tonight, starting in third, Jimmy, it's a possibility you can send it down the inside, but I don't know. I mean, what do you think might happen here at the start?
I mean, anything can happen here at the start. Turn 1 can be tricky. We've seen drivers start here and end here, or make their end night very difficult here from the get-go. So definitely have my eyes on turn 1. I'm all stationed up in the corner here to see who can make it through, and then to catch that action as they come down through. But obviously working their way around the track right now, and getting ready to take on this 45-minute event and see who can come out on top. Pit stops are always interesting here when it's going to happen. We know they have to pit. And I think they can pit like right on from the get-go in case something does happen, which again is a benefit to this league if you were to join. If something happens on the first lap, and if you can at least keep going and not lose too much time, you're gonna have to pit anyway. So you just come in, get top off on fuel, get back out there, right around the back of the field. But you be careful, and if you can make your way through, you can find yourself finishing in the top 10 pretty easily. So yeah, it's a good one here, Carl. It's going to be interesting, and Watkins Glen's always a delight to be here.
I mean, it's only a 3.5 mile track, so it's not like it's the longest track that we go to for sure when it comes to these road races. But I think the familiarity sometimes it plays a benefit, sometimes it's bad for some of the drivers because they get a little too comfortable, as we've seen before, and maybe send it through some corners that they think they have the grip for. But cold tires. I know we've had a week off. Still going to deal with cold tires here on the start, and that's what we're going to have right now. Pace car is in. We turn it over to Barney to see the first drop here tonight, and it's going to be the drop of the green flag. We are racing here at Watkins Glen International, looking down at turn number 1. Bourgeois protecting that inside here a little bit, and he's going to hold on to it. Mason Smith going to lose the lead, or lose second place here to Craig Jancic as they head into the S's for the first time.
Yeah, and up to the S's they come, and obviously, you know, Craig Jancic wanting to get out front and getting that clean air and work their way, but watching everybody come up through the S's, everybody does a good job making their way through there, so off they are to the backstretch. And
Jimmy, there's so many different places that we go to. Certainly next week at Bathurst is one of them where it's just absolutely picturesque and it's beautiful sights to see. But here at Watkins Glen, there's not too many better sights when it comes to seeing a ton of cars going through a section. And I've said it before, I'll say it again, that camera view from the top of the S is just looking down when you see a 35 car field coming through there. It's beautiful.
Yeah, that one there. I also like the bus stop when we're coming down through. There's a lot of good angles here at Watkins Glen of one of the static cameras that we got, and it's definitely puts on a really good show. So, but right now it is still Craig Jancic does make his way to the front. Yeah,
because our championship just got turned on its head. This is Noah Bourgeois right now, all by himself, and it's not because he checked out to a big lead. He had an incident here. We'll take a look here. Loose heading into the boot, and that's going to put him dead last in the field. And I know we talked about it, Jimmy. You can get that early pit stop and get it out of the way, but I got to say, you do something like this, you give Greg Jancic the lead early on, you better hope that Mason Smith has got something to keep him in check, because this is going to be tough for Noah Bourgeois to kind of fight this one back. He came in with a 2-point lead. That could evaporate very, very quickly.
And, you know, Mason's not super aggressive, and he knows that he's not in the hunt for the points this season to defend his title, but, you know, obviously out here going to try to win, and he'll take his time. He'll catch up to Craig, and he'll probably follow him around for a good portion of time, knowing that he's not going to be able to, like, pull away from him, but he does have the ability. He is fast. He's been fast in almost every track I've ever raced him against, you know, trying to track him down or just watch him just walk away or lap you. So Mason definitely has the talent to get up there and catch Craig and, you know, hopefully pass him. And he's done it last season, and he's even done it in a few races this season, you know, being right there. But drivers just handling that boot right now. A little bit of squirrely action going up there up front right behind Mason Smith. I didn't see who it was. I didn't catch the number, but
it looked like it was, yeah, Tyler Torville towards the back of the pack had a little spin, so he's now second last in the field. 2 cars now probably going to be taking an early pit stop, or at least you know, trying to get themselves that pit stop out of the way and into clean air, hoping that they get those laps done and try and make their way back through the field. But you know, the problem is, Jimmy, we've seen drivers do that before. We've seen drivers, you know, have the incident. They come in lap 1, lap 2, you know, lap 3, 4, 5, you know, one of those first few laps of the race. They do make it back up through the field, but the problem is, even though you're out there in clean air, you don't have to worry about anybody else's. Wow, that was a big hit on the outside wall by Jesse Mosley. And somehow it maybe worked out, unless I seen it with somebody else. But it was the problem is you're on I don't want to say heavy fuel, but you're on, you know, 40% fuel to start this race. So you're on kind of the heaviest you're going to be for the entire race. And you know as well as I do that the car gets better and better and better the less fuel it has in it. So you want to try and run as little fuel in the car at all times as possible. And if you're coming in there early, you're topping that thing off on fuel, you're going to have that clean air, but you're going to have a heavy car. And you're not going to be able to put in the lap times that you could with, you know, 30% left in the car like these drivers may have now.
Yeah, I mean, it's, you know, double-edged sword, I guess. You know, if you don't have the damage, obviously keep going, and hopefully you can make it up, you know, just with, you know, less time, and give you that ability to, you know, work your way through the field and pit with everybody else. But you'll see, you won't get that big passive group of people, so it really just, I guess, depends on when they want to come, or maybe catch the back of the group and then pit in to make sure you have less time battling people, which is a safe bet. You see Christopher Hamilton already making his way up through the field, though. I was just checking, he's up 10 spots, just kind of, he's in the battlefield right now, working around. Coming out of the heel of the boot coming up. in the final turns and got the inside at the moment. But yeah, I mean, it just a great racing going on overall. Watkins Glen, obviously, you can race too wide through the majority of the corners. Some of the corners I don't recommend too wide, is like obviously the final turn, which can get pretty tight if you're on the outside, and you know, slows the guy on the inside, but it takes that inside guy to kind of give you that break. But right now we do have some, it looks like Jason Phillips coming down the pits.
See Phillips come in here side by side. There's Hamilton trying to get around Brandon Potts. Good battle back here for 14th and 15th. We did see Norbert Bourgeois turning in some fast laps at the back of the field, and he does have the fast lap of the race right now with a 1:43.69. Only two drivers in the 1:43s. That is Noah Bourgeois and Mason Smith. He is only 1 second behind your leader. He was dropping back a little bit at the start, and I thought, okay, well, here's going to be a chance for Craig to just go ahead and stretch out and walk away from the field. But Mason Smith qualified second. He's, you know, got more pace, at least qualifying-wise, than Craig Jancic, and starting to show that pace here a little bit, about a half a second faster on that last lap, and now got it back to 1 second on the time. He's got to get a little bit closer to just get a sniff of that draft, and maybe get him within a chance to get up there and pass, or at least harass Craig Jancic. But we've seen more often than not, a lot of times here, it's tough to pass Jancic, and that is a big impact there. It looks like 63, I believe, of Simon Seguin involved in that one as well. Let's take a look at what happened here. I think Simon spun out, and then fortunately Tyler Torville found him at the wrong time here, and you see it entering the boot. 63 slides sideways, and then Tyler Torville comes around here a little bit because he was at the back of the pack, and right there, I mean, just a little bit of a clip as you see Seguin trying to quickly get out of his way, but it didn't work out. We'll try and take a look riding on board here with Tyler Torville, and you see kind of how little Torville's seen coming out of this corner, trying to make a last-second decision to go to the outside, but it was already too late, and you see the heavy damage. So a bad day gets a little bit worse here for Torville, as he had a meatball, and I'm towing it back to pit lane, as did Seguin. So 2 cars out of the race at the moment.
Yeah, I happened to be watching Noah Bourgeois as he was working his way through the back part of the field right now, and you know, making some passes, I'm sure, making some drivers uncomfortable. I've seen the inside pass into the bus stop, which always freaks some people out. I have been able to figure that one out, and it definitely throws a lot of drivers off guard, because they don't think you can stick that, and you can. Matter of fact, Dave Tilford being one of those drivers I've gone too wide to the bus stop with, and we get getting together, and Dave lost out on that one, because I don't think he was prepared for a car to just send it into the inside and be able to hold it. So, but yeah, I mean, right now, just drivers doing pretty good. Craig's up 2 spots. So your biggest move of the race right now, though, is Christopher Hamilton. He's up 14 spots. Carl working in, trying to close in on that top 10, working on the up through the field, closing in on Dave Tilford.
And you kind of wonder what could have been for Hamilton if he were able to qualify in this race and be maybe more towards the front. But definitely getting some work on traffic management back there in the back, as he's still working his way through the field. Looks like a lane below is your leader in the silver, doing some battling right now. Pretty close with Brandon Potts. Potts has been featured quite a bit here in the beginning, and getting a little elbows out here. It's 2 races left to go, and we're trying to make our mark on the season here.
Yeah, some good elbow action going on between those two. Little friendly bumping and banging, trying to make, you know, who's got the car to beat here tonight, and able to make that move from the down to the bus stop, so they single out. But that's usually the move most of the drivers have, and now it's like you know, working our way down to this carousel area, and try to get that good run down into the boot, and possibly get that inside run down. And they got a spin.
I don't know if that was contact there. It looked like there was a gap in between, but below, your leader in the silver is going to spin out here. Todd Torville is now going to be your new leader in the silver. We'll take a look at that one more time. I mean, we're watching it live. But yeah, it looks like below just kind of the same thing as Bourgeois did on the opening lap. It's got a little bit of a funky rear end there, and that snapped on him, spun it back around. Looks like little damage. He kept the spoiler on it, but unfortunately going to lose a ton of spots because it's kind of tight right there at the beginning of the boot, and he seems driving backwards before he can finally get that thing rotated back around here. And you're going to go from first place up there inside the top 15 to way back 29th now, 7th place, and dead last in the silver just like that.
Yeah, it doesn't take long, the drivers driving as close as they are here to lose a bunch of spots. But somebody not losing spots right now is your leader, Craig Jancic, and keeping on that lead, but only has a half a second lead now over Mason Smith. And like I said, Mason Smith is sniffing the back end of the Craig Jancic, number 88, and maybe some fuel saving. Who knows what's up Mason Smith's sleeve here to try to squeak a win out here towards the end. And Mason's pretty good, obviously very confident about how he can drive, and he'll drive behind Craig Jancic all day as close as he can, and maybe put Craig Jancic at uneasy, knowing that Mason's looking for a win here as he has nothing to lose. So will Craig Jancic let him go? Maybe not. But especially with Noah Bourgeois having a bad day, he wants to try to get as many points as possible on him. Speaking of Noah Bourgeois, back up to P number 24 in a battle there with John Espada, but looks like that was Zach Larson. No, that was John Espada, right?
Nope, he got around. Got around Zach Larson.
Yeah, Zach Larson. Yeah, he got around Zach Larson.
Yeah. Catching up to Espada right now. But yeah, one of the automatic camera views that we have here, we can set one up to focus on the leader. We can set up to focus on accidents, and one of them is focus on what is it? It's not action. I forget what it is. It's exciting. And I feel like if I clicked on it, it would just go right to Brandon Potts. He has been just in some heated battles this entire race here so far. Looks like he's finally maybe settled in here. Javi Sierra just got by him. Maybe he can breathe here a little bit as Sierra pulls away, and Todd Torville is another 1.5 seconds back right now. But Torville is the silver class leader right now. So I don't know how long Potts can breathe, as he is he's the man to watch, I guess, in this race here tonight, for better or worse. But yeah, certainly heating up at the front. Craig Jancic finally able to crack into the 43s. I say able to crack into the 43s, and I'm wondering how much he is actually pushing as well, and trying to figure out how much fuel he's actually saving. But it is the first time that we're seeing a shift in momentum when it comes to the cars here, as Jimmy mentioned. There's definitely Fords out there. You got Jesse Mosley, Kyle Kobler, and Glenn Lazan, just to name a few, also with Jason Phillips and Simon Seguin in the Ford Mustang out here tonight. But the Aston Martin finally kind of making its official debut. I will say that. I mean, it's been out for a little bit now, but is the fresh new car here for iRacing until the newer version of Porsche 911 is coming out here pretty soon, Jimmy.
Yeah, I think, isn't that the Cup car though?
Is it?
Are they? Yeah, I think it's the Cup car, the one that typically doesn't have ABS. I know there's a lot of changes that are going on with that series, so it's gonna be interesting. It might be a series with the changes that might make the car a little bit easier to drive. And obviously, it's a real competitive series if you get into it. A lot of drivers like it, so I don't know how much they're gonna like the changes, but interested to see what they do with the new Porsche car when it does come out. But I do believe that's not going to affect the GT3 cars. I think that's just over there at for the Cup version. They talked about being able to turn on now give it ABS and some other things. And if that's the case, Carl, there's times when we actually raced against the Cup car, at the Nürburgring, and that car is typically just as fast to the GT3s, with the exception of it can't get into the corners as quickly as yet because lack of ABS and all that fun stuff. So But if they give those cars ABS, those cars might end up being just as fast.
Yeah,
faster.
that's good if not better. Yeah, exactly. Well,
So
certainly
it's going to be interesting when it comes to the Nürburgring next year.
Certainly good to see the Aston finally getting a little bit of love out here tonight, though. It's holding down the top 3 spots right now with Jancic, Smith, and Reiner at the front, and then Justin Flagg there in the top 5 as well in the Aston. But you see an Aston getting passed right there. That is Cesar Torres getting passed by Chris Hamilton, who's now up 18 spots. He's in the top 10 in 8th position right now. 1 spot behind the gold division, or the gold class leader, Kyle Kobler, out there once again showing his dominance in the gold. And I think it's pretty clear to say he's probably not going to be in gold next season, Jimmy. I think a platinum invite is going to be coming his way at the end of the season, the way he's dominating the gold this year.
Yeah, unless he eats a lot of pies or something and slows down,
I see what you did there.
He's not going to be in the gold division much longer. Next year, I'm sure he'll be running with the platinum drivers. Has the speed, and we've seen a lot of good talent from him. So, you know, I'm sure just some more runs here and, you know, getting some maybe more seat time and might pick something up and might find that number 3. Or should say, excuse me, number 97 in the 3 out there doing his thing. But yeah, Kyle's one to watch out for, as he's had a lot of good races so far this season.
Well, it's starting to heat up here once again at the front. It's now only a third of a second separating the top 2. But the question is, how much is Craig Jancic holding back? How much is Mason Smith actually wanting to get around Craig Jancic, or will just want to stay in line? He ran the fastest lap of the race last lap with a 143.59. Noah Bourgeois also running fast laps. He ran a 143.68, and that's in traffic in the middle of the field. He is now working his way back up right now into 17th position, but still got a long way to go. Damage control 100% here for the 5, and just to give you an idea, he spun out when he was a leader. He's currently 27 seconds behind the lead at this point, so not the race that I think he envisioned here tonight. But out front, like I said, good to see Mason Smith back out here, and good to see him back out here harassing Craig Jancic as well. Not making it easy for him.
Yeah, it's not gonna, you know, Craig maybe thought Noah going off the track, he would have been having it a little easier, as his teammate is right behind Mason Smith. So Bryce having a great race here as well. And, you know, we've seen Bryce at the end of the season come on pretty strong, and was putting up some good battles with Mason and Craig throughout the season, and, you know, with Christopher Hamilton. So having a little bit of off season this time around for these few races for the end of the year, but still putting in some good finishes, and just not having the success that he had the previous season.
I want to thank everyone for tuning in here tonight. Hit that like and subscribe if you haven't done so already, as we got our doubleheader Wednesday with the CSRL GT series here at Watkins Glen, and then after here we keep it in the States. We head out west to the beautiful Auto Club Speedway and the Pit Road Speed Limit Racing Series as they head out to Auto Club. And I mean, Watkins Glen is a track I look forward to, whether it's racing or you know, even broadcasting here at Watkins Glen. Usually puts on some pretty good races. But Auto Club is definitely one of our favorites, obviously on the oval side as well. So, I mean, to have a little break, you know, for Thanksgiving, Black Friday, whatever you're really truly celebrating from last week, but to come back to this, yeah, this is what I like. This is Christmas early for us.
Christmas early. I mean, I even had a chance, I think it was about a week ago now, maybe 2. The officials were actually at Auto Club, so I even ventured out there on my own in the trucks at Auto Club, and tons of fun. Had got myself a 3rd place finish even, so yeah, I braved the officials, Carl, on oval, believe it or not.
You got to get back out there. I mean, we got the Core Premier Series started back up at the beginning of the year, so we're both going to get our feet back into the cockpits here, and hopefully string some good finishes together. I know I'm looking forward to just getting back out there and racing. Sure, I want to try and go for another championship there in the Premier Series, but there's some tough competition. There's already some pretty good drivers that are signed up for the series, and I know everyone is. I don't want to say everyone, but a lot of people are looking for the series coming back. It's a fun series that definitely races different things every week. It's not an oval series, it's not a road series. It tackles all 4 disciplines in a 10 race schedule. So it's not for the faint of heart, but it's a lot of fun, and we try and keep it as fun as possible. And there's 2 divisions, a pro division and an AM division for for those that are, maybe just want to get out there and just have fun, but still have a chance to win a championship. So looking forward to that one for sure. But yeah, I haven't had really a chance to get out myself to that much, other than doing the little bit of testing here and there for the season. So I think I'll probably just stick to the testing now. I don't know if I can still deal with officials. I think the 4 or 5 times I do it a year in the endurance races, that kind of fills my meter enough for the officials.
The meter fills up really quick when you're out there. I mean, the one, because I ran out of club a few times. I got a 3rd, and the one prior to that, I got like a 6th. And this one driver, he was just sending it, and then like I got a message saying like, you did the same thing to me twice. I was like, well, if you go back and watch your replay, you came off the wall and went across my nose, and then the second one, you came down and come across my nose. I don't know what to tell you. He's like, I was holding it straight. I was like, you need to review the replay, man. That's all I said. I didn't go off on him. I apologize that he spun, but it was like, it wasn't my fault. If you just go back and watch a replay, you could just clearly see this car come down off his line as I'm staying still, and it just coming right across my nose. And when you put your rear end across somebody's right front corner, the car is going to go around regardless of what one you're in. So yeah, I mean, I don't have a super high I rating, so it's I don't expect much, but a lot of times some of them people that have just started the service, or they think they know racing and they don't go back and watch the replays. But if you're out there and you do officials and you get tangled up, unless it's you know that what happened exactly, go back, watch the replay. A lot of times it gives you your answer. You could be at fault. If I was at fault, I would have owned it. It's just that simple. But some people just think they can do no wrong and get away with it and just attack people through their keyboard. I mean, I'm sure face to face would be a lot different, but yeah, a lot of keyboard warriors out there, Carl.
Yeah, 100%. And the whole just let it breathe. Heat of the moment, you're going to be pissed, whether you're one at fault or even not. That doesn't matter. You're still going to be aggravated that you were involved in the incident. But just let it go. Let it simmer. Like Jimmy said, look at the replay. A lot of times, even if you weren't at fault, you probably played some kind of part in it. It's a two-way street here, unless somebody's just a complete moron. But I'll tell you what, there's not a two-way street down to the bus stop. But Mason Smith trying to find it. Craig Jancic blocking on the way down to the bus stop. Does not want to give up this lead because pit stops are looming. We are getting close to the time they come into the pits. We're about, should be about 25 minutes through the race when we get back to the line this time. So very well could be the pit stop a lap on this one here. So Jancic wants to go in with the lead, wants to have that advantage. Taking a look at Norbridge, well, up 11 or up to 12th position right now. Chris Hamilton up 19 spots. He's up in the 7th. But this is your battle for the lead, and they are, maybe not well ahead, but 3 seconds ahead of Bryce Reiner in 3rd place right now. But this is a close battle. It's been a while since we've been able to see Mason Smith and Craig Jancic go at it like this. And Mason clearly has some pace. Not sure how much of it is, again, Craig holding back at all, or if it's the draft really helping out Mason Smith. But you see Mason not leaving any stone unturned here, and it looks like they're going to go around for another lap here, but I would assume they're going to be in here pretty soon.
Yeah, it's going to be soon. We should see most of the board light up here for pit entry here soon. It's just a matter of time. Obviously, they're getting to that that time frame where they like a lot of drivers like to come in. It's over the halfway mark. They don't have to take a full tank, so they come in there and only grab a half a tank. You know, no tires usually, or if they are taking a tire, it's just one side, or you know, usually just one tire, or like maybe you know like that front left or something, in order to, because it's so much pressure on that front left for the majority of the race. Turn one, the carousel, a couple of the turns down into the boot, so a lot more pressure on the front left than there is on the right here at Watkins, and we'll see if they can what they decide to do. But yeah, it does look like Cobler and Caesar Cologne are both in and out now. I know you're still more people coming in. See Tyler Terrell, Luna, and Galan. Still have that meatball from Tyler Torville, excuse me. Somebody, there's two Torvilles?
Yeah, Todd Torville. Todd Torville is the other one. He came in. So both of our gold and silver division, or silver class leaders, into pit lane with Kobler and Todd Torville. Seen a good battle right here between the 11 of Christian Ortiz Torres, right now leading the gold class before he comes into the pits, and the 12 there of Dave Tilford. But our leaders now into pit lane. Craig Jancic, Mason Smith in the pit lane. David Wells is going to follow in behind, but Bryce Reiner is going to stay out for another lap here. We'll see if this pays off here, and maybe certainly for the F1 fans out there, it may be a different strategy, a split strategy for the teammates here, the Mark BC DSS teammates here. Split strategy, something that McLaren didn't do at the previous race here, that could have really benefited them. But I don't mind. It's going to make it a spicy championship race for sure next weekend, or this weekend. But Bryce Reiner staying out there, and he seems like he's one of very few. As yeah, it looks like William Burrell going to come in here as well, and see if Alain below and Paul Bailey looks like the only other ones that have yet to come into the pits. And we're going to see Alain Below come in this time. And we'll see if Paul Bailey comes in, and it'll just be to, indeed, Bryce Reiner, the only one that's able to go an extra lap out there. But Craig Jancic in and out of the pits, about 0.6 of a second faster than Mason Smith. It's now up to a 1.7 second lead. This is what Craig Jancic does so well. Pit stops every race. There's very few times that Craig Jancic gets beat in and out of the pit stops, and even with the stop time in the pit stall, as Jancic pulls in another great turn through the pits, and a total of 1.2 seconds faster than Mason Smith has gained him a nice sizable lead here. Again, we'll see if Mason Smith can now reel him back in as Bryce Reiner now makes his pit stop to complete the pit cycle.
Yeah, now it's just obviously, you know, Mason's got about a little less than 20 minutes to make up that time again, but not in the draft this time. So he's got to work his way to that draft and push the car a little bit harder if he wants to get around Craig. Yeah, it's going to be challenging. It's not going to be an easy task, and you don't want to overdrive too much here at Watkins Glen. It gets actually pretty easy to overdrive at some of these corners, and you can do it for a lap or two, but then the tires actually get a little bit too hot. The car starts handling weird. The brakes are hot. It just slows funny. It just you still need to hit your marks and hit everything properly, or you'll find yourself in trouble. But Mason and Craig Jancic both get by Bryce Reiner, but Bryce Reiner now almost on the back tail there of Mason Smith, so maybe Bryce can use this to his advantage and possibly catch up to Mason, or maybe Bryce and Mason work together to catch Craig. We'll see.
Well, Bryce Reiner is out, and right behind that Mason Smith, only half a second separating him right now, so maybe that's what they'll need to do. Your top runner in the gold, still Kyle Kobler, stretching out his lead. He has got about a 3.5 second lead over Steve McLean, who is 2 cars behind him right now. He's got Jason Phillips in between them. Top runner in the silver class now is Jason Potts, as he leads by about 5, almost 6 seconds over William Burrell. Currently sitting in 19th position right now. Top runner in the rookie class here is David Wells, as the rookies right now sitting 4th, 5th, and 6th, and I would assume all 3 of those rookies probably going to be looking to go right into the platinum for next season if they decide to stick around, because they certainly have the speed to run up here in the top 5 or very near to it. Looks like Noah Bourgeois had another incident here.
Oh no!
And we'll see how bad it was, and that might have been it right there, just a little off track right there. So that's not too bad. It's like Dave Tilford, I can't say had the same situation as he was battling there with Cesar Colon Torres, and just got a little bit loosey-goosey coming out of the bus stop, and that's a smart thing there. Waits till a few of those cars get by before he gets it back rolling, but gonna lose some time and positions right there. But meanwhile, up front, it's not over, because Craig Jansen came out about 1 3/4 seconds ahead of Mason Smith. It's already down to 1.4.
I just went back and looked at Tilford's incident a little bit closer. Obviously, I had to wait for traffic, but Netco through the bus stops end up some rear end of that car around on him.
Good battle back here for 2nd and 3rd in the gold class. Steve McLean in 2nd, in 10th place overall as well, and you got Cesar Colon Torres right behind him, chasing him down the backstretch, heading into the bus stop. And you see, yeah, it's we go to so many tracks that the curbs are violent, and you look at this and you see all my, look, if you're just tuning in, you're just looking at this and you see those cars kind of bouncing up in the air, and oh man, that looks so violent. No, that's some smooth curbs right there, going through the bus stop. It could be a lot worse, and that's why you see these drivers attacking them as much as they are.
Yeah, they're really putting some car over the curb and launching them a little bit. You can feel that, like when you're in your car, and you feel that basically the force feedback go away because your tires are in the air. It's a unique feeling, and then they hit the ground, and obviously you need to make sure you're ready to catch it. Well, you got to do a correction. But Carl, looking back here with Stephen McLean and Cesar Colon Torres, these two are just going at it like it's the last lap. It's a pretty good watch back here.
Yeah, that it is. That's what we're keeping an eye on right now. It's getting a little closer at the front as well. We'll take a look at that in a minute, but yeah, it's definitely a close battling here, and I got it once again. I know we shouted out before, but the paint scheme there on the 007, very user friendly with the side skirt, the bumper, the spoiler. It tells you exactly what whatever you want to paint. It's got your template right on that thing. So anybody looking for a template, there you go. Is that Cesar Colon Torres? He's got the template for you, but he's trying to have the template to pass Steve McLean to get himself into the top 10 overall. Just not able to do it yet. He's shown a couple times that he wanted to get in there, and just couldn't make it happen. Looks like Dave Tilford, maybe another crash, and this one may have taken him out of the race.
No.
As this is coming out of the boot, and heavy impact there with Herbert Pineda, as both of them end up towing back to pit lane. You see both cars heavy damage. Not much either of them could have done. That's one spot. If there's one spot I could pick here at this track that I hate, it's the exit of the boot. That corner, it's a little bit off camber, and it's just, you want to get on the gas so much earlier than you're really allowed to, and it catches me time and time again. I hate the exit of the boot here. It just, I can never bingo it.
I always have a problem with the toe. That's my worst spot. Not so much the exit of the boot, but the toe. I can sometimes bingo it, and sometimes I can't. But when I lose time, that's where I'm losing most of it, is in the toe. One used to be a huge problem until you find that good feeling for your braking point, and so you can really get it down there and get that car rotated, so you're not running off track and racking up them things, because in endurance event eventually they'll catch up to you. But
speaking of rotating through turn number 1, good rotation there for Cesar Colon Torres, as he's finally able to get past Steve McLean in turn number 1. As you see, Dave Tilford just came out of the pits to rejoin the action here right in front of them. But out front, it's no longer 1.75 seconds. It's no longer 1 second. It's 0.8 seconds. Mason Smith on the charge here to try and catch up to Jantic to make this thing a race. We got 10 minutes left here. We're going to go ahead and step aside and give you a little love to hear. Take a look through these cars real quick for a couple minutes, and then we'll get back for the finish of this race. Sights and sounds of the CSRL GT series as we head to the final minutes of tonight's round number 10 here at Watkins Glen International. We've seen a battle right here. Steve McLean trying to hold on to 11th place over Cesar Colon Torres. Nora Bourgeois was able to get past, and we've seen these guys just battling back and forth, side by side for a while. And once again, it is Steve McLean in front, and this is second place in the gold division, and third place for that matter. First and second, though, overall, it's now down to 0.6 of a second. But what does Mason Smith have for the end of this race? Does he have enough to get to the back bumper of Jancic and make a move before this thing is over? You know, biggest fan right now, Mason Smith, it's got to be Noah Bourgeois. He needs Craig Jancic not to win this race, give him a good legitimate shot heading into the season finale next week. I know it's double points, I know it's 2 hours, but you got to figure over a 2-hour race, it's going to be tough for Jancic to finish anywhere outside of the podium at worst. So I think this could be a deal breaker. I mean, he came into this race here in the lead by 2 points over Jancic, but one mistake could very well cost him this championship. And you can't say it's just a mistake tonight. He certainly had a drop race earlier this season at Le Mans. Was not a great showing there, and tonight, you know, maybe he could have afforded that had he had a decent finish at Le Mans. But right now, 9th place this late in the season, unfortunately, isn't going to cut it.
Yeah, no, it won't make it. So, you know, it is what it is. Obviously, you know, sometimes you can be there for everything, sometimes you can't. And then, you know, when it's so competitive up front, you really can't really take that race off. You know, if it's, you know, if they allow one drop race, you know, in the short season, and you know, that's your drop, you know, and if that means you can't have any bad races after that at all. You have to finish up there, so it's best to get out there and do your best each and every week, and you know, at the points on the table. But right now, Craig Jancic working his way to possibly another win here. Looks like lead stretching out just a little bit as this thing is coming down to an end.
It should be seeing the white flag, probably not this time by, should be next time by. We'll take a look at Barney as they're coming through the penultimate corner here, and yeah, I don't think we'll see the white flag this time by. And Barney just hanging out up there. He's got the green flag kind of rolled up. He knows it's been a good race out here for your leader, Craig Jancic, and we're going to go ahead and go around. Most likely 2 more laps around this 3.5-mile track, but Jancic now stretching back out, as Jimmy said, a 1.2 second lead. He's going to need some kind of mistake for Mason Smith to catch back up here. Bryce Reiner keeping within check here. I mean, a good run here for Reiner. He's never really fallen that far behind. He's doing a good job here in the 87. In third place, about 2.5 seconds behind your leader. David Wells, a good job here in the 33 as he is leading the rookie class, and up there in 4th place overall. So great run for him. Kyle Kobler, your leader, once again in the gold, and now his lead about 9 seconds over those that were battling Steve McLean and Cesar Colon Torres, the best battle on the track right now, other than Jim Dutton and Glenn Lazan as they're going through turn number 1 side by side. And see Glenn Lazan trying to do it around the outside here. They're side by side now through the S's and give it back to Glenn Lazan for the time being. Yeah, he's going to clear and move over in front. Battle for 16th and 17th position. Little ways back behind them, Jason Potts is your leader in the silver class by about 6.5 seconds over Todd Torvell. So Potts looking to maybe get himself another win, another interview here before this season is over. But out front, the lead starting to get even wider now, 1.6 seconds. So maybe that is everything that Mason Smith could do, or maybe that was enough saving for Craig Jancic, because the white flag is out. 1 more lap to go here in round number 10.
Yeah, it's. I think Mason's just happy to kind of get a great finish. You know, give it a good college try out there and try to get around Craig Jancic here tonight. But Craig's just always been one to be very consistent, and you know, then pit stops have really helped the 88. You know, all season long. So I mean, it's been his strong suit. It's you know, a lot of times he's able to get out to the front early on. You know, whether he starts, you know, third or fourth or whatever. But you know, it helps that you know, if you can gain a half a second in the pits, I mean, it's huge, and you can see that all season long. So it might be what he needs to bring home that championship this season.
Certainly looking to be the championship leader heading into the season finale, as long as he can finish this thing out. Only about half a lap yet to go as he's going through the toe right now, heading to the heel for the final time. He's got a now 1.8 second lead over Mason Smith. I think Mason is probably content now at this point, finishing in second, and you know, getting a good showing. We're going to see him back out here, as I mentioned before. It's just not enough to hold off Craig Jancic. We said again, once again, two things that Craig Jancic has done well for the longest time that we've broadcasted here in CSRL. That is, he gets good starts, whether he's on the pole or not, and pit stops. And both of those things are credit to his win here tonight, as he is your overall and platinum class winner here tonight. The 88 of Craig Jancic coming home in second, Mason Smith in third, rounding out the podium, Bryce Reiner in the 87. Good run for all three of them. David Wells going to bring it home in fourth overall. Justin Flagg, didn't talk much about him, but a good fifth place finish here tonight. Jesse Mosley going to come home in sixth position. Just rounding the final corner right now. And then Chris Hamilton right behind him. A heck of a battle back here for Chris. Got to give it to him, starting back there in 26th position. Finishes in seventh, and only just has a good battle to the line here. Noah Bourgeois going to come home in 8th. Kyle Kobler in 9th. Steve McLean will hold off Cesar Colon Torres to finish in 10th. And then Colon Torres in 11th. As we'll take a look back here at Jason Potts, your final class to finish over the line here, as he is your leader by 4 seconds over Todd Torville, heading through penultimate corner and the final corner. And Jason Potts is going to be your winner here tonight in the silver class. Great run there for the 57. And I want to thank everyone out there again for tuning in. We'll get our interviews here in a bit. Want to thank a few of our sponsors now, Digital Sim Sports, for sponsoring the moment of the race, as we've seen the moment of race from Suzuka last week. Want to thank our other sponsors, Sim Racing, Sim Up, and just lost everything here for a second. There we go. And I want to thank Marta PC and 40 Racewear for their sponsorship, as for some reason I'm not able to bring up the sponsor app. There we go. Now it's finally coming up. So 40 Racewear, makers of the ultimate sim racing shoes and custom apparel designed for sim racing by sim racers. 40 racing shoes, custom engineered to connect racers to the pedals in a way no other racing shoe can, while still providing the comfort needed for those double and triple stints. Visit 40racewear.com and check out the latest sim racing products, including the original racing gloves for your feet. For Martin PC, they are focused on providing high-quality PCs, rigs, and components at an affordable price. Your investment in sim racing is exactly the same as racing with an actual car. They take that same methodology at Martin. From the engine PC to the chassis, rig, pedals, wheels, and shifter, you deserve components that match your desire to compete. I want to thank Ace Motorsports for sponsoring the fastest lap of the race, and trying to see... grab that here tonight. Looks like, I believe, Mason Smith or the 143.55. May have to verify that, double check that. And of course, the biggest mover of the race, Chris Brill Hard Charger Sandbagger Award, is going to go to Chris Hamilton, up 19 spots, but not to be too outdone. Frank Pisano up 14 spots as well, starting back there in 29th. So good run through the field for the 4. We're going to go ahead and get our drivers ready for their interviews. While we do so, Jimmy, why don't you give us a full rundown of tonight's results?
Yeah, quick rundown of tonight's results here as they just finished up, and good showing by everybody like normal. But the winner here tonight obviously is Craig Jancic over Mason Smith. That's going to be Bryce Reiner and David Wells, Justin Flagg and Jesse Mosley, Christopher Hamilton, Noah Bourgeois, and Kyle Kobler with Stephen McLean for your top 10. 11th is going to be Cesar Colon Torres with Christian Ortiz back there in 12th. 13th Brandon Potts, 14th Glenn Lazon, 15th Frank Pisano, 16th Jim Dutton, Jason Phillips finishing at 17th, Javi Sierra back in 18th, and back to the rest of the field here as they come up, please. Thank you. 19th Jason Potts, 20th Zach Larson, 21st Todd Torville, John Espada is going to be back at 22nd, Bill Burrell finishing at 23rd, Ryan Luna in 24th, Michael Ray Galan back in 25th, Paul Bailey in 26th, Dave Tilford finishes in 27th, and Alon Belu back there in 28th. 29th is going to be Ian Wilson, 30th Herbert Pineda, Simon Seguin back there in 31st, and Tyler Torville. Not the race he would like to have had. Sure, he'd like to get that one back, finishing in 32nd.
Still waiting for a few of our drivers to get into waiting room, but we're gonna go ahead and get the ones in here that already are in and ready to do some talking. Looks like a few of them were having a little chat amongst themselves, but we'll go ahead. We're going to start with the gold division here tonight. We'll switch it up here a little bit, and come on, everything decides to stop working here at the end, but we'll go ahead and bring in our winner here in the gold division, and that is Kyle Kobler in at the 97. Kyle, you come in here tonight certainly on a great form this season, leading the points by quite a bit heading into tonight in the gold class, and you come away with yet another win here at Watkins Glen. I mean, it certainly was in no small part to McLean and Colon Torres just battling amongst themselves the entire second half of the race, but he certainly had a fast-forward Mustang out there tonight.
Yeah, everything felt pretty good. Those guys fighting certainly helped. It was getting warmer and warmer, the track temps, as the race went on, so I kind of was trying to manage tires. And then once I pulled out of the pits in front of Jason Phillips, I believe, I decided to hammer down a little more and wore out towards the end. But overall, it was a pretty good run. Kind of low on fuel at the end there, but other than that, pretty good.
I mean, I got to think that this is kind of a victory lap already for you heading into tonight. You had a sizable points lead, and then you got the 2-hour finale next week. Even though it's double points, I think it would. I don't even know if it's mathematically a possibility for anybody else to catch you in the points, but I mean, I would assume you're going to go out there, finish on a high note, because judging by it, I would think you're probably going to get asked to get bumped up to the Platinum Division for next season.
Yeah, we're gonna, still come out. I actually have a hand surgery Tuesday next week, so it'll be interesting, but I still plan on coming out and trying it and seeing how far I can go into the finale there. But yeah, Platinum next season seems likely at this point. Probably should have been there this season, but I think Jim is trying to do the best he can to balance everything out, so I appreciate that.
Well, listen, the way you've been handling the gold division this season, no offense to everybody else in the gold class, but you may be able to win that thing with only one hand. So you've been doing fantastic this year. So congrats again on another class win here at the Glen. Who do you want to give a shout out to or thanks to?
Yeah, just the usual suspects. Noah, the guys at FMR, and wife and kid. I love those guys, and that's it.
All right, buddy. Well, take some time to celebrate this one. Good luck on your surgery, and hopefully we'll see you as healed as possible for next week for the 2-hour season finale.
All right, thanks, guys. See you.
That is your top spot here in the gold class. The 97 of Kyle Peach Kobler for another top 10 as well, finishing in 9th place. Top spot overall is once again going to go to the 88 of Craig Jancic.
Hey, Craig, Jimmy, and Carl on the booth. Copy.
Good evening, gentlemen. How was your Thanksgivings?
Well, I am still wish we didn't make so much pie, because I've had pie for days, and it's not good on the figure. You know what I'm saying? But it's very good going down. But great. Thanks for that. But let's talk about your race a little bit. Obviously, a big one here, coming down to only one more race after tonight. Obviously, going into the finale, and Noah having a little whoopsie in the beginning definitely made things your life a little bit easier going into the finale.
Yeah. Oh, excuse me. Sorry. I guess I just moment was a little big for my voice there, but
we can't get him to choke in the race, but he chokes after the race.
Noah's rolling over in his proverbial sim right now, but no, man, it's heartbreaking to see that happen, honestly, because we run so many laps, we put so much into this, and then it all comes down to just one corner having a huge impact on things like that. Like that depresses me as a fan of racing, but at the same time, huge championship implications. As soon as that moment happened, my shoulders went straight down, and I was just kind of settled into pace managing for the rest of the race there. I let Mason get a little too close a couple of times, just trying to save a little bit too much gas, and that thankfully we were able to ward him off there. Kudos to him, left plenty of space, we were able to fight really well, and still came out on top, saving a lot of fuel, sipping here in the Aston Martin. Felt great, felt hooked up. Front tires had so much turn almost the whole race, and that's what made this car the meta last week in GT Fixed. I'd also be lying if I didn't say that I did the very thing that Noah did a number of times in those GT Fixed races. It was really inviting to ship it down into there, just because you think that the track's going to hug you and let you go free after. But unfortunately, it's not always that way, and I hate it for him and his guys, because there's a lot on the line here, and it takes a little bit of pressure off Bathurst, because I think this is going to be one of his drop races points-wise, if my mental math stands correct. So we'll just have to see what that shakes out like, but it definitely eases things up just a little bit for next week.
Ease things up going into the finale, and you touched on it just a little bit. 2 hours at Bathurst. How do you prepare for something that can be so unique? Because a lot of follow the leader up over the mountain typically, but things can happen up there, and you can find yourself in a situation, and with double points, you could watch what little lead, I guess you would call it, over Noah disappear.
Yeah, so the audience, you guys and me all know that I talk a hell of a lot. So this answer is going to be long-winded, and even I already know that. So we were able to run Bathurst in the official series a couple of weeks back. That was great preparation. Ran the Mustang really hard there. Grabbed a couple of wins. Feel really good about all of that. Track time is always valuable. However, boys, you guys know what next Tuesday is? It's build day. We're going to get a brand new build the day before our race, which means they're going to change all the GT setups from this past season.
No biggie.
Front engine car right back into the can where they've been for seasons long now. I'm hopeful that they won't, but we'll see what happens there. So Tuesday and Wednesday of next week is going to be huge, pivotal preparation for just one race, just 2 hours at just one of the hardest tracks in the entire planet. And I love it down there. I think it's a great, it's a one of a kind racetrack. There's, I don't even think that the depth of elevation change you can find even at the Nordschleife in Germany. I know you could probably do it over the course of the lap, but you certainly can't do it in 13 seconds like you can do it down the downside of that hill there. So I'm really excited. It's going to be probably the most chaotic event that CSRL has ever put on, and bring it on. I'm excited and ready.
It's definitely one for the could be one for the history books. It's definitely I've had have my fair share of endurance events there, and the one that comes to mind is 23 meatballs on lap 1 at the top of the hill. So it happens.
The not top 10 knows all.
And we all came in, we all went back out, and we still finished in like 5th after we were part of that mayhem. Yep. So it's definitely a track of endurance, and 2 hours is gonna about put you guys where you start having that a little bit of fatigue and making sure you hit that spot. So it's going to be a one for the record books, I think, here for CSRL. So I hope and wish everybody out there a great race for that one. But for tonight, we want to say congratulations on your win here at Watkins Glen, and give you a little bit of time for shout-outs that you might have.
Yeah, thanks you guys, Core Racing Network, all the viewers out there of Core and our series, CSRL specifically. Thank you so much. Thanks to all the participants that come out here tonight and every night throughout this whole season. Still chalking up really full fields, man. 32 cars. That's epic for second last race of the season, and as we're diving into the holiday and after a week off. I mean, seriously, that's really commendable from our guys. So I really appreciate that. Thanks to Martin PC. They're a huge supporter of not just our league, but myself and my endurance team, Digital Sim Sports. Thanks, Brian Haynes, for everything that you're doing in the background there. Really cool stuff going on over there. And I really appreciate their involvement and everything. My mom, my dad, Aunt Sandy, Chris, my girlfriend Anna, Uncle Lee, who cheer me on here every Wednesday night, and I'd be nothing without my support system, man. It's truly one of a kind, and I can't be more thankful. So now we'll all hop on a jet, and we'll fly against the clocks there for a little while, and yeah, it'd be 18 or whatever, how many hours behind for the next week until we get going down the mountain, man.
Well, it sounds like a good time. Thanks for the shout outs. I appreciate everything. And again, good luck in the upcoming week here with the new build and the exciting track. And we'll let you go celebrate this win with your friends and family.
Really appreciate that, man. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Is your winner here in the Platinum class and overall, the 88 of Craig Jancic, and setting himself up with a good chance at the Platinum class championship as well. We don't have our winner here, Jason Potts, for the silver class. We're just going to go ahead and bring in our top spot here for the Chris Burrell Hard Charger Sandbagger Award winner here tonight. Excuse me. And that is going to be the 64 of Chris Hamilton. Chris, I would assume you didn't want to start in the back of this field and try and work your way through.
No, I didn't. You can blame my computer for that one. Sorry, I'm a little under the weather right now.
All good, buddy. We'll keep it short then for you. But I mean, we got to talk about the run through the field. I mean, it's not a track that's the hardest to pass. There's certainly some passing opportunities here, but I mean, to get through this many cars, I mean, almost 20 cars from the start of the race. I know there was a few cars that maybe, kind of let you by easily by having some kind of issues, but there weren't that many, just guys wrecking and, big pileups from out that you can pass a bunch of guys right from the rip to get through this field. So you had to work for it here tonight.
Yeah, not too many guys pulled over for me either. Did have to work for it. There was a memo that I didn't get, which is why I was in the Porsche, and apparently it was the worst car. But we kind of just were like, well, I made my bed. I'm already in it. I can't change it. So we just got to make do with what we had.
Well, I mean,
qualifying.
Good.
Yeah, qualifying, I was battling computer issues, and I think it was that memory leak issue where it was like I got 100 and then 30, then 100 then 30, yep. Sometimes in the middle of a corner. So I was like, I don't want to be on track. I want to fix this. And then I had to take some stuff off. I had to bring my stream down, refer them to the CRN stream. Hi, everybody there. And eventually I got it fixed, and then it was time to go racing.
Well, I mean, if there's any silver lining, you finish ahead of the championship leader going in. You've ahead of the pole sitter here for tonight with Norman Bourgeois finishing behind you. I know his pass was certainly a gift on lap number 1 that I'm sure you weren't expecting. But yeah, I mean, it's got to be not fun starting from the back, but in the same case at a track like this at Watkins Glen, you know it so well. You've been here so many times. I'm sure you raced the 6 hours of the Glen multiple times, let alone out here in the 87s and and the other oval cars that come here. So you've had plenty of laps here at Watkins Glen to kind of pick your spots and figure out how to get through this field. But you definitely put on a masterclass here tonight to win the Chris Burrell Hard Charger Sandbagger Award. So congrats on that. And well, like I said, we'll keep it short and sweet here so you can get out of here with your sickness. And we'll let you give it any time for any shout outs or thanks that you may have.
Huge shout out to Park Sailor Cruz for the fun safety car paint scheme. That was really the whole reason why I picked that car, so that way I can run the Porsche again. Thanks to everyone over here at CSRL. I will actually be missing next week due to work again. That's 2 finales now I've missed. So, but I will certainly be watching. I'm not as close to the point championship as I was this year. So good luck to whoever is in the points title. I haven't been paying attention to it. I've just been trying to take race by race. And excuse me. Thank you for the broadcast, Carl.
Well, I appreciate it, buddy. We'll let you go, and hopefully you feel better. I know you're probably still going to feel sick by next Wednesday, but being at work instead of out here on the track. But hopefully, physically, you feel better next week.
I'm sick. I can't go to work.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, there you go. You can pull that too. But that's beside the point. Either way, congrats on the run through the field here tonight. We'll let you go, and hopefully we see you again pretty soon here coming next season.
All right, take care, boys.
That is your Chris Burrell Hard Charger Sandbagger Award winner here tonight. Up 19 spots, finishing in 7th place is the 64 of Chris Hamilton. That is going to put a wrap on tonight's event here from Watkins Glen, but we're only halfway done. We still got one more race to go as we're going to head out west to the Auto Club Speedway for pit road speed limit racing. So if you want a little bit more racing in your life tonight, certainly keep an eye on CRN when we go live and get that thing ready to roll. But for myself and Jimmy here from the Watkins Glen International, we'll see you at the track.